Hey everyone, today I'm doing a review of Clutch.ca because I'm actually in the process of purchasing a used vehicle online, which I've never done before, and it was a something that I was a little bit hesitant about, and I saw some other reviews, but I thought I would do one as well. I'm actually in the midway process of actually making the purchase. For those who aren't aware, Clutch is an online retailer for used vehicles, which actually, if you're in rural New Brunswick, such as I am, opens up an opportunity for an awful lot more inventory, which is not bad. I'm going to be breaking this video up into a few different segments. I'm going to go over what my buying criteria, what I was looking for, what my local market looks like. Then I'll be doing the club shopping experience, like my experience with it. Then once I actually go see the car in a couple days, I will be talking about how the car went and what my thoughts were. And then I will also be doing like a final inspection and a final decision on whether I'm going to keep the car. Now, one of the key things when you are buying through Clutch is they have this whole thing with buying online with confidence, where they claim to have, lower prices. There's lots of cars to pick from. There's certified reports, so you have Carfax on all the cars. There's no haggling. They also have a couple of different things, like in terms of like a kind of like a warranty. So they have these different protection packages that it comes with. If you just buy it cash, like you just want to buy the vehicle, then you can actually just buy it, not get any of the other features. But they do have within their essential, this is not free. If you do not do financing, this package right here is going to cost you $2,000. And it gives you a standard warranty, which is 3 months or 6,000 kilometers. You get a 10-day money back guarantee. Now, the 10-day money back guarantee does not cover your cost of shipping. If you have to get it shipped from Ontario, that's non-refundable. So in my case, I am paying the $500 to actually look at the car, which is a bit risky, but I figure I would take the chance. And within this, you need to have less than 750 kilometers at this time to be able to trade it back and get all your money back. For me, there wasn't a delivery option straight to my door, so I am going to have to go meet with them. I really didn't look into the other ones because, like, again, the price just kind of climbs. But with this one, if you finance, this essential package is only $1,500 cash. If you wanted to buy the essential thing, it is $2,000. So some people might think that, oh, well, you really can't just get it with cash with that because it's going to cost more. And, you can still put down a down payment, things like that. And also it's an open car loan. So with car loans, you can pay them off anytime you want. So even if you were going to buy cash and you wanted the essential package, I would recommend going through the finance process, paying the $50 fee for the financing, and then just paying it off after the first month. That's what I would probably go with and what the direction I'm probably heading, just because it just saves you $500. Getting into my buying criteria, what I was looking for was a vehicle that was under $15,000 before taxes, fees, or anything else from wherever I was buying it from. I did not want a vehicle that was older than 10 years old, so, capped out 10 years, so nothing older than 2015. It was what I was looking for. I was also looking for a preference on something that had all-wheel drive because I do have a daughter who's getting a permit this year, and that means within 8 months after driver's ed, she will have a license. So I do want this to be a reliable vehicle for when she's driving in the winter. The other thing is I was really hoping to keep it under 200,000 kilometers so that I could, just because that makes me feel a little bit more confident about how long the vehicle is going to last. I know that's probably just a bad metric. Hey, this is how I feel. But that was the criteria that I was looking for. My local market is like searching anywhere through New Brunswick all the way down to Halifax, Nova Scotia. So first thing you do is you go on to Marketplace. See, I have it set to $15,000. And I do have them all years set to 2014 or newer. And I started kind of browsing through, trying to see what there was. So all these ones are, over 200,000 kilometers. I'm just kind of really not interested in. There are a few here like that look like they could have been, within what I was looking for. This one's got a pretty good price. And if we go down through though, we'll quickly see that there isn't a lot of actual options, and you're not going to be able to be quite as picky. And I'm also going to have to negotiate most likely with people in this case, which means I could probably get a better deal, and the fees would be absolutely minimal. Another place we go is on Kijiji. So here's kind of like the map area of what I would say within range of I'd be interested going to pick up. So if I start going down through here, I can see, okay, 204,000 kilometers. No, I'll pass. 162, that's not too bad. but I don't really want to go with a Charger for, so that's kind of out. Again, over 200,000 kilometers. A little Chevy Trax, maybe, possibility. So like kind of go through, and then the Clutch is already showing up. So the options here, like there are some, but there isn't there isn't a lot. And if we go over to Recar, which is one of the bigger actual ones for in Atlantic Canada for used cars, and we set up our filter, so we're just got this sorted so that basically under 15,000. This is it. So the inventory in like my area isn't fantastic. I'm not saying there isn't inventory. So that's why I actually decided I would try to check out Clutch. So this is with just looking at like the Clutch page of just an automatic car under 15,000. What am I looking at? And most of these things are under 100,000 kilometers. There are a few that start to go over, and I don't think I've seen a whole lot, if any, that were above 160,000 kilometers. But as you see here, I'm just continually scrolling. There's a lot of different options and stuff here. Some of these have pretty low kilometers. And the one, it was already up on the screen before, that I decided that I'm actually going to go after is this 2016 BMW 3 Series 328i. It has 140,000 kilometers, but it also has a really good price. And there is a Carfax report. This car was in a fender bender. So the front end on it was broken and repaired, but I'm not too concerned yet about that. I am going to be seeing this vehicle in a couple days in person. And again, like the biggest thing I'm looking for is making sure that there's no rust and I can get everything else checked out. Because with all their different photos they have and stuff online, the only thing that Clutch is missing is shots of underneath that would potentially show you if the car's rusted out. Because guess what? We're in Canada. We love to salt our roads. Cars typically don't die here. They just get eaten. Now, getting into what my Clutch buying experience has been so far is it's pretty straightforward with the online portion. Like I actually had opened up a chat and talked to them because again, I said that my biggest concern was, if you ship me a rust bucket, I'm not going to be happy because there is no refund on the shipping. So I am gambling a little bit and I will be getting video and stuff when I see the vehicle of underneath to see, is it all rusted out? And if it is, I won't accept the vehicle. Online, though, the first thing they want is a $100 deposit to hold it. That is refundable, which is fine. You have to go through a few different steps to get everything kind of going, and the financing. And everything was fairly straightforward. It does feel a little bit rushed because the system automatically kind of pushes you through. So from one stage to the next, it says, hey, can you complete this within the next 24 hours or the next 6 hours, things like that. Then they also give you a call and talk to you on the phone, which is nice. And that's because they can't leave these vehicles sitting on hold because other people might be trying to buy them. So that's one thing that it does so the sales pressure thing that people say that they feel at a dealership, you're not really getting away from it here. It's going to feel like it's kind of trying to rush you along, push you through, and it's going to send you emails saying, hey, you're going to lose your hold on this unless you get this step done, which isn't really a great feeling when you're trying to figure out whether you want to trust this thing that you're purchasing online. The other thing I found a bit lacking was the general communication. I find that I had to send multiple emails to get answers to questions, which is really not how I think it should be. I really think with it being an online experience that the communication and information should be snap ready available, because you don't have the trust of actually talking to your salesperson. Now I know some people, they don't like talking to salespeople and stuff, so this might be better. For me though, I would prefer to have a conversation. I obviously have no issues with talking because I can ramble on forever. So that was only so far the kind of the negative thing is that in order for me to see the car, I do have to get it shipped to me because this one, it was in Ontario. So it's $500. That part's non-refundable. But once I get it, I do have a chance to test drive it. They've informed me. So when I see it, I will get to look all through it. Definitely go check for rust, biggest concern. See if there's any weird noises or anything. And then once I accept it after my test drive, if everything with that goes well initially, then I'm going to drive it home, and I'm actually taking it out to my local dealership where I bought my truck and stuff from, and I'm going to have them go through this and find anything or everything that is possibly wrong with it to get marked up within the warranty, and I will send that off to Clutch, and if there's any pushback, then I can get all my money back except for the shipping. So I'm hoping that's not the case. Like, I'm hoping everything's in great condition, and I'm assuming that they're probably pretty picky about the vehicles that they bring in to sell, just because it's going to be a hassle to be moving these vehicles around all the time, and the Clutch themselves isn't going to be making any money off shipping shipping cars back and forth at $500 across half the country. So I'm kind of hoping that this is going to go really well, but I won't be able to record the next part of this until Saturday, when I actually go to see the vehicle and take a look at it. Now, one of the things is when you're shopping, you're looking at this, you're like, oh, all right, that is a fantastic price. I'm loving it. And you click on the pricing and disclosures, and you're like, oh, vehicle price, total price is $15,187. Well, we're going to have to slow that down just a little bit, because that's not actually quite the price. See, this price right here and this 15% tax is the tax only on the vehicle price. So there's going to be tax on your shipping. There's also going to be tax on your administration fee. If you do your financing, there is a $50 charge from the lender for the processing. The other thing that is also not here when you're looking at it is if you go with an essential package like I did, that's another $1,500 plus tax. There is another fee. I don't actually know what it's for. It's the PPSA. I'm sure somebody will know exactly what it is. And that's $82.48. So when I was first looking at this, I was like, oh, this is like almost too good to be true. But, there's a few other fees that do climb up in here that, like, this isn't really fully transparent. So I just want to make people aware of that. One of the things I do appreciate is they do give you their inspection report. So you can actually go in here, and this is the inspection by Clutch, where they mark everything out. They have photos of anything where there's like anything that has an issue. Like, so this car does have a few scratches and stuff. As I mentioned, it was an fender bender. But I'm not overly concerned about that. And also you get a full Carfax report. So like within the Carfax report, I can see, yep, there was definitely an accident, and there's a minor with another motor vehicle, damage to the front, and then you can see like the service records and things like that. So you do have all that information. However, I'm not going to count on just this. I am still going to take it to, the mechanics and stuff that I trust, who are always there and answering my questions and very helpful. And it's just in the used market, they just don't have a lot of vehicles that are in the used market of what I was looking for. So I had to expand my search a bit. Okay, so we got to the BMW pickup day, and I was very excited because here's a couple of photos. When we looked underneath the car, the amount of rust was very minimal. Like, for a 9-year-old car, like, this was actually really impressive, like how little rust there actually was. I mean, we are in Canada. There's going to be some, like we saw in that first photo. But overall, not too bad. However, we did hit our worst case scenario. So this car had brand new tires on it. So everything kind of looked good. And we traveled 194 kilometers, and we were about 90 kilometers from home. So as you know, we had to pick it up, and we were driving it home, and then we were going to take it to our shop to have it looked at. And I had never driven a BMW before, so its return to center is quite aggressive in comparison to normal cars, but I didn't realize that there was anything off. And we blew out a tire. And I was just like, oh, man. So then we ended up having to get a tow, which was really unfortunate. And we got towed straight to our shop to have it looked at. And, we gave Clutch a call to tell them what happened. They were just like, oh, like, you must have hit something, because those were brand new tires. And that was not the case. So what ended up happening is, from what our shop is telling us, is that the front end from whenever it had its accident, that I wasn't worried about because I assumed everything would be fixed, was off. And so the inside, this is the inside of the tires here, actually like melted off within, that 200 kilometers. So we hit our worst case scenario, that there was something actually, major wrong with the car. And we had our shop looking it over, and they were like, George, I wouldn't recommend keeping this one. Like, we have some other concerns and stuff. Like, you're within that 10-day. Maybe you should look at swapping for a different one. So we contacted Clutch, and The salespeople I didn't find were as like super helpful. Like they seemed to think that we had did something and that we should let them try to fix it. And I was just like, no, like I'm not interested in keeping this car. My shop's telling me, look for something different. But the customer care team was absolutely excellent. They took care of the tow bill, and they're working on doing exchange for us right now. So the one that we're looking at now is we're looking at a 2015 Audi A4. It is $2,000 more expensive. This one though, like I made sure that it has not been in any accidents. Cause I'm just like, no, I'll spend a little bit more, make sure it's not in an accident. So there's been 0 accidents. This looks like this vehicle was actually taken down to Florida in the winters for the first couple of winters in service. It has a really good service record. Its spark plugs were just recently changed. It just had an oil filter changed and everything. So everything here looks pretty good. Again, it's a 10-year-old car. So the first thing I'll be doing when I get it is, going through and seeing just how much rust their stuff in is. Like, I mean, there's a bit of body damage and stuff like on the bumper and stuff here, but I mean, that's to be expected. The price is still really good. It's still all-wheel drive. So we will be getting a look at this one later this week. So I will be posting an update, and I'm hoping that, that the underneath is very similar to what the BMW was. Cause again, on the rust side of things, everything looks really good. So, and I got to give credit to Clutch. They did take care of the tow bill, which was great. And they're also working on setting up the exchange without me having to do a bunch of extra stuff due to the, the circumstances. Cause it was like, the worst case scenario that could happen. And it is really unfortunate. And I'm just happy that we didn't actually get in an accident. Like, I was driving down and I heard like it started making a really funny noise. So I decided to pull over. And then when I pulled over, I kind of just tested going forward real slow. And then the tire blew. And it's just really good that I had done that because both the other front tire was about to go as well. And we probably would have been in a major accident, which would have been horrible. So everything's kind of good there. I am pretty happy with how Clutch is dealing with everything, and we'll see how the next car goes. And hopefully I will have a final update to put in this video. Okay, so the Audi finally has shown up. There was a bit of delay because when they were checking over, they found a couple things, so they made sure that was all repaired before delivery, which is absolutely fantastic. And so here's a photo of the Audi A4 in a parking lot. This is another just shot of it when I was making sure to get it checked out. And yeah, so big thing. It's a 10-year-old car, so first thing we did was let's check for rust. So we started going underneath it, trying to snap a few photos here. And the only spots where we found any rust are basically on these bolts. Looking all through it underneath, everything on the rust side looked really good. So I think that Clutch is pretty good with even their older cars and making sure that they are getting very solid cars, which is absolutely fantastic. So after we took this out for a test drive and we saw that the rust was pretty minimal, yeah, as I said, like there wasn't any major rust issues. When I took it for the test drive, everything felt really good. So I wasn't too concerned. So I signed off on the paperwork. I took the car to start my 10 days. And the first thing I did, I took it to my trusted shop, which there's a lot of great shops in the Charlotte County area. The one that I go to is Charlotte County GM. My service team there has always been really good to me. They've taken care of all my cars for a couple of decades now, and I trust them when they tell me if there's an issue or if something's in good condition. So they took it and they went all through this for, I think it was a bit over an hour, and they came back and they were just like, yeah, George, this car's it's in very good condition. Like, we're not seeing anything major or anything like that. And I was like, absolutely fantastic. So since this is an Audi, if you run into the same situation where not every shop has all the different software to be able to scan it to check for faults. So in my case, what I would recommend is you try to find like an auto body repair collision shop. So for me, I went to CarStar St. Stephen and actually had them scan it, and they scanned through it just to make sure that there was, on the software side, there's no errors, no faults. And that's exactly what we found. So another big win. So everything mechanically was looking good, signed off by my trusted shop. On the software side, we were good because we got it scanned. And so everything on that side is really good. So We're pretty happy, so I think we're going to be keeping this. I don't see any issues why we wouldn't. And we'll just recap everything in this video. So if you're in the used car market, I would say that Clutch is definitely worth considering and checking out. They've got some good prices, and the vehicles are pretty good. Now, from my experience, I mean, I hit the absolute worst case scenario on this with that first car, where there was an obvious issue of some sort. And so I would highly recommend that if you are going with Clutch, pay the $1,500 to get that 10-day money back guarantee. Then I also have 6,000 kilometers, 3 months of warranty. So if anything does happen to pop up that we may have missed or the shop had missed, which I doubt, but you never know, I'm going to be covered and I'll be able to, get stuff repaired. So I don't have to worry about that too much. And just by having that saved me on that first car. That could have been a huge money pit, like easily. So that is something I would highly recommend, that it's worth picking up. So my next tip would be always take your used car to your trusted shop and get a thorough inspection. Have them double check it. When you're on if you're just kind of scanning it yourself, even if you're going to another place, like if you're buying it from somewhere and you can get it to your own shop, then that's what I recommend. Because the people that you deal with are going to give you the best results. If your shop doesn't happen to isn't able to scan that tool, then check for a collision repair center such as a CarStar and see if they're willing to, or if you can pay them a small fee just to have them scan it to find out if there's any faults or issues on the software side. Because they can even tell you if the codes have been cleared and if there was a problem, things like that. So it's just something extra and handy that you can get done, and it's not too expensive to do. It's probably around $50. I mean, that's what I paid to have it done, and that to me, keep my peace of mind, that I was fine with that. So after a weekend of driving with it, we're pretty happy with the purchase. And moving forward, this would be an option when people say they're looking for a used car that I would recommend that they check out. Now, this is not a paid review or anything like that, but because I was a purchaser, I am going to have a referral code. The bonus of a referral code, if you choose to use it or go this route, you save $200, and I get I think it's $100 kickback if you happen to use it. So I'll probably post that in the description below. I think it's worth considering, but again, if you are purchasing, I do highly recommend you get the package on Clutch with the $1,500 for the 10-day money back guarantee and the small warranty for a few months, just because it gives you the opportunity to really test drive it. There are like the limitations, like the 750 kilometers, things like that you need to keep in mind. But then you have the opportunity to really take it to any shop that you feel comfortable with to make sure that this is that you're going to be happy with your purchase in the end. So I think with the way that they have set up, and again, their customer care team was absolutely excellent. I would recommend it as a viable option for people in the used car market. So I hope you found that this review was helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to make a comment below. I will do my best to answer them or try to get answers for people as I can. And yeah, thanks for stopping by.